Thank you. Well, good evening. And welcome to the 21st meeting of the 146th Council of the Corporation of the City of St. Thomas. Just as an FYI, there is no closed session tonight, but there is a public meeting at 6. If for some reason we're not done the agenda by 10 or 5 to 6, we'll take a 5-minute break, go into the public session, and then we'll return into this council chamber to finish up the night. Anyway, first item, clerk.
First order of business is the appointment of a presiding officer. I have a motion that council appoint Councillor Herbert as presiding officer for this meeting of council. Moved by Councillor Baldwin-Sands, seconded by Councillor Gibson.
So you didn't want to do it, eh? Okay. Questions or comments? Seeing none. Any opposed? All in favor? Motion carried. I saw the hands go up. First item, please.
Your worship, just need to confirm if there's any disclosures of interest from the members. Seeing none, we'll move on to minutes. I have a motion that the minutes of the meeting held on June 1st, 2026 be confirmed.
Question or comments?
Hold on, need a mover first. Moved by Councillor Wookey, seconded by Councillor Taylor.
Any opposed? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Council will now resolve itself into committee of the whole to deal with the following business. First committee this evening is strategic direction and development. First item is Brighter Future Monthly Update, priority area number 4, equitable, accessible, and inclusive communities. I have a motion that reports CMO 4126 relating to Brighter Future Monthly Update, priority area number 4, equitable, accessible, and inclusive communities be received for information. And further, that council provide feedback on this update and each monthly strategic plan progress update going forward to identify priority areas and discussion topics. Moved by Councillor Baldwin-Sands, seconded by Councillor Taylor.
Questions or comments? Councillor Lori Baldwin-Sands, did I see your arm too? Yes, Councillor Taylor. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions, if I could, and to pull out a couple of things from the report, if I may, because we have been in a economic situation where inflation is lasting higher and longer than what the pundits all predicted. And I am very appreciative of the fridge in the library and the partnership that has been created with Harvest Hands. So my first question is directed either through Taylor or to our chief librarian that is here, provide some comments on what that service is providing and what it's becoming an essential need in this community. Thank you.
Would someone like to comment on that? Cody? No? Sorry. Gotcha.
Thank you. Through you, Councillor Herbert, to Councillor Baldwin-Sands. Yeah, the timing of the fridge is certainly has been great for this community. I mean, we've seen the number of people coming through to use it. We don't track statistics on actual users. We kind of try to protect privacy around engaging with, like, who's actually using the space. It's kind of we don't have our staff monitoring that, but what we're watching is how much food is going in, and then the fridge is empty every time. So you're absolutely right. So as the report kind of indicates, we're now up to, in June, filling the fridge every single day of the week. And there's a lot of different people using it, families, older individuals, younger folks. There's no, the way that the economy works, it doesn't discriminate based on who's in need. So the fridge is the same way. So we're happy to see it being used, and there's a lot of people who have been really grateful for that addition at the library. We're part of a network of a lot of good community organizations in this community. I think there's just a lot of hands that go into making this kind of thing work well. So yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you. Further question?
Thank you. I appreciate the library's dedication to it and the amount of work the staff have undergone in order to make this happen. So please relay, I'm sure on behalf of all of council, our gratitude to the members of the staff for this program. My second question is about accessibility. That's on our trail system. We have beautiful trails throughout our community. And I recently received an email that pretty much echoes some of my personal sentiments about some of the trails that are being used. And that's about some of the accessibility issues, especially with signage. This one individual talked very specifically about when they are walking on the trails, whether it's Pinafore Park, whether it's Waterworks Park, or whether it's around Lake Margaret Trail. There's no signage to say pedestrians stay on the right, cyclists stay on the left, or vice versa. They have tried walking on the right, and that has been not successful, being pushed out of the way by either a cyclist, by a motorized scooter, et cetera, other electric vehicles, et cetera. So there's cycling, there's versus walking. Everyone is entitled to use our trail system throughout our community, but having some common courtesy and some respect about having people stay to the right or stay to the left, whatever is indicated. It's number one. Years ago, the Downtown Development Board, when I was on it, we did a whole series of signs about walking your bicycles on the sidewalk, because some people would, with excessive speeds, ride on the sidewalks, which was not very conducive to those who are in our downtown trying to shop. So that being said, I was hoping to get some comments from Environmental Services or from Taylor about making sure that there is accessibility taken into consideration on our entire trail network system to accommodate those that are walking and those that are on, whether it's assistive or bicycles or whatever mode of transportation they are using on our active trail system. Thank you. Hoping for feedback.
Thank you. Any comment? Is it Kevin?
Through the chair to Councillor Baldwin Sands. Our trail network is physically designed to AODA standards. So it's like the physical pieces, the width of it, the tactile plates at junctions with the road corridors, those types of pieces. But one of the things that was identified in our transportation master plan was wayfinding signage, as well as signage for those courtesy type things as well. Like you sometimes typically see signage around swim ponds of things that you should and shouldn't do around a swim pond, but also those types of things around the trail network. So I think those items that you've raised could be addressed through that type of signage, especially at our trailheads.
Thank you. Councillor Kohler?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. My comments around the community fridge as well. Councillor Baldwin Sands already brought it up, but I want to commend that. But I also want to talk a little bit about the work that Harvest Hand does within the community, since Councillor Baldwin Sands already brought the fridge update, and the work that they do is just outstanding. They work with the Inn and Indwell as well. And I encourage any other community group that is looking for help to reach out to them, because the work that is done there is just amazing. I had the opportunity to tour the facility a little bit ago, and was just amazed the operation that they have there, and over almost 300 volunteers that they have there. And I know when I talked to Jim about this, he said that other communities have been wanting them to locate and offer bigger spots for them in other communities, but he realizes that it wouldn't be as successful because of the volunteers that he has here in St. Thomas make it work. But certainly I thought deserved a mention in this here, and I'm really pleased to see the library continue with this and encourage other community groups to reach out to them as well.
Thank you. Any further comments? Yep, Councillor Clark.
Thanks, Your Worship. Under 4.41, it calls for us to develop and implement a St. Thomas Indigenous Relations Plan, and we're kind of behind on that. And I'm just wondering if someone could make any comment about which quarter we would begin working on that plan.
Thank you, Your Worship, through you to Council. That will be part of the city's DEI strategy, a complement to that plan, which was outlined in this report. So we're right now just engaging with some consultants on that work, and anticipate that might be done either later this year or likely early next year. So we'll look forward to bringing that to Council as well.
Thank you. Any future comments or questions? So we have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, carried. Next item, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. The next item relates to a proposed deeming bylaw application for 34 Warehouse Street. I have a motion that report PD 3526 relating to proposed deeming bylaw application 34 Warehouse Street be received for information. And further, that council authorize staff to prepare a deeming bylaw for part of Lot 29, Plan 93 Yarmouth, as in E179857 St. Thomas, and Lot 28, Plan 93 Yarmouth, and part of Lot 29, Plan 93 Yarmouth, as in YM407007 St. Thomas. Moved by Councillor Wookie, seconded by Councillor Clark.
Questions or comments? Seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Next few items are notices for council's information from the Committee of Adjustment. The first one relates to a notice of decision related to a minor variance at 9 Princess Avenue. Notice of a decision has been received from the Committee of Adjustment relating to enlargement or extension of the existing legal non-conforming covered patio at Legends Tavern, 9 Princess Avenue. Next notice from the Committee of Adjustment relates to a consent at 420 South Edgware Road. Notice of a decision has been received from the Committee of Adjustment relating to the creation of a mutual easement between 10 Highbury Avenue and 420 South Edgware Road for servicing purposes. And the last two are notices of a meeting. Next one is for a minor variance at 53 Hiawatha Street. Notice of a public meeting to take place by Zoom on June 11th, 2026 at 10 a.m. has been received from the Committee of Adjustment regarding an application for minor variance by the YWCA St. Thomas Elgin to permit an apartment dwelling 3 meters from the side lot line, whereas the minimum required is 4.5 meters, and 0.5 parking spaces per unit, where the minimum required is 1.25 parking spaces per unit for a proposed 3.5-story apartment building containing 49 units at 53 Hiawatha Street. And the final under these notices is for a minor variance at 4 Avon Road. Notice of a public meeting to take place by Zoom on June 11th, 2026 at 10 a.m. has been received from the Committee of Adjustment regarding an application for a minor variance by the City of St. Thomas to permit a daycare building 3.55 meters from the lot line, whereas the minimum front yard depth is 7.5 meters, and 3 meters from the side lot line, whereas the minimum side yard depth is 4 meters for a proposed daycare center at 4 Avon Road. Unless there are any items from the members under this committee, we'll now move into community engagement and services. First new item relates to health recruitment partnership for Dr. Ahmed Osman. I have a motion that reports CMO 4426 relating to health recruitment partnership, Dr. Ahmed Osman, be received for information, and further that council direct that a bylaw be prepared to enter into a health recruitment partnership agreement with Dr. Ahmed Osman for the provision of $33,000 in health recruitment incentive funding. Moved by Councillor Baldwin Sands, seconded by Councillor Gibson.
Questions or comments? Seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Next item relates to a health recruitment partnership for Dr. Sai Olanapenkan. I have a motion that report CMO 4526 relating to health recruitment partnership, Dr. Sai Olanapenkan be received for information, and further that council direct that a bylaw be prepared to enter into a health recruitment partnership agreement with Dr. Olanapenkan for the provision of $33,000 in health recruitment incentive funding. Moved by Councillor Baldwin Sands, seconded by Councillor Taylor.
Questions or comments? Seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Next item relates to the health recruitment partnership for Dr. Chibuki Egwim. I have a motion that reports CMO 4626 relating to health recruitment partnership. Dr. Chibuki Egwim be received for information, and further that council direct that a bylaw be prepared to enter into a health recruitment partnership agreement with Dr. Egwim for the provision of $33,000 in health recruitment incentive funding. Moved by Councillor Baldwin Sands, seconded by Councillor Gibson.
Questions or comments? Seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Last item under this committee relates to health recruitment partnership for Dr. Zishan Chataru. I have a motion that report CMO 4726 relating to health recruitment partnership. Dr. Zishan Chataru be received for information, and further that council direct that a bylaw be prepared to enter into a health recruitment partnership agreement with Dr. Chataru for the provision of $33,000 in health recruitment incentive funding. Moved by Councillor Baldwin Sands, seconded by Councillor Wookie.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Oh, sorry, my fault here, sorry. Councillor Lori Baldwin Sands.
Thank you. I have been talking about this development for a little bit now. And to update everyone, I did go over to the clinic itself and had an opportunity to chat and to meet. There will be rostering 10,000 patients. There are 4 that are coming, with 1 additional coming in the very, very near future. So a total of 5 will be operating out of the clinic. It is under the parent of Thompson Medical Clinic. And just so everyone knows, 1 has already started and has started seeing patients. I was there and watched staff register and roster new patients that were coming in, looking for a new family doctor. So this is going to be quite, not just, it's going to be a game changer for our community for having this many doctors arrive at once and bringing on as many patients in a very short period of time. This has been a bit of work that the Health Recruitment Committee has been doing. We're very grateful with our health recruiter and with the city manager. And with that, I hope the city manager starts with a few of her comments. And if there's anything that I see missed, I'll jump back in. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager, I saw your hand.
Great. Thank you, Councillor Baldwin Sands. And through the chair to the rest of council, we're pleased to welcome this group. They come from a diversity of backgrounds, many being trained in the United Kingdom and coming over here, some with experience in Ontario already. I think this is a signifier of really good relationships, starting with the partnership itself, connecting them with our recruiter, and then also connecting with local business owners and finding a space for a clinic like this to exist. So it takes a lot of coordination and teamwork, and it really is the result of our community pulling together and uniting around a joint goal of connecting all residents to primary care.
Sorry, Councillor Baldwin Sands again, then Councillor.
Thank you. I would also like to recognize some of our community partners that were heavily involved in this. And that's one of the things that we've had with our new strategic plan is the ability to bring in some of these new strategic partners and the support that we've been able to get in the community. I'll talk a little bit about that during my report on Discovery Week, which I'll do in communications part of the agenda tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Wookie.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. For the benefit of the public, how do people get on the roster? And where is it? What's the phone number? Do we know the phone number? And how do they actually, do they call and then a week later they have an appointment? Is this, are they showing up at the door? You know, just the logistics questions for people who are looking for it, because I'm sure there's people watching tonight who are saying, this is great. If they're accepting patients, I need to get over there. Where is there? And what's the process? Thank you very much.
Lori Baldwin Sands.
Thank you. I'll let the city manager finish. We have started a campaign a little bit on our city social media, providing with the link. Thompson Medical Clinic themselves have already started a social media campaign with the links in order to register. But the ones that I did see when I was there were people that were walk-ins. So there was no phone number identified. I know that people were walking in and using the links on social media. So that would be, on an outside chance, I would use that, but I would use and follow social media first and foremost. I'll let the city manager pull in her information as well.
Thank you. City Manager.
Sure. There are a few ways to be rostered. You can visit thompsonmedical.ca, and then there's a link for new patients. The Health Recruitment Partnership is also encouraging all residents seeking a doctor to register through Ontario Connect. That's a centralized database, and so they will also be pulling patients from that database. So that's important to pursue both avenues.
Thank you. I will make a comment myself. I think the city needs to realize, and of course council realizes, there isn't a community in Ontario that's fighting for doctors. And kudos to Lori Baldwin Sands and her team. She works hard at it. And it just seems like every 6 months we're getting 3 or 4 doctors coming to our city. So thank you very much. Whatever you're doing right. A lot of communities would love to have the doctors first here. So thank you very much. Next item, please. Oh, was that a vote? Did we vote on that one? No, okay, so moved by, who was the mover, John, and seconder?
So the motion is currently moved by Councillor Baldwin Sands, seconded by Councillor Wookie.
Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. That's the last item under this committee unless there's any items from the members. Seeing none, we'll move into infrastructure and civic operations. The first item this evening relates to South Edgware and Burwell intersection environmental assessment. I have a motion that report ES 3026 relating to South Edgware and Burwell intersection environmental assessment be received for information. And further, that council authorize staff to proceed with alternative 3, new 2-lane roundabout as the preferred solution for the South Edgware and Burwell intersection class environmental assessment study. And further, that council direct staff to file a notice of study completion and commence the 30-day public review period in accordance with the requirements of the Environmental Assessment Act. Moved by Councillor Kohler, seconded by Councillor Wookie.
Questions or comments? Councillor Baldwin Sands.
I will say that this is the proposal for a roundabout in my neighborhood and an intersection to which I'm very concerned about. Today alone, it took 7 lights to make a left-hand turn from Burwell Road to South Edgware. I know that there are quite a number of funneling of traffic coming to this area because of what's happening on Highbury, but it doesn't reflect the number and the increased volume of traffic that seems to be happening right on that corner. I do have several concerns with the idea of the roundabout, and I was hoping to get some questions to Environmental Services about the access to the businesses on South Edgware and Burwell. There is an access road driveway from Burwell and from South Edgware for the gas station specifically on the corner. But I also will note when traveling and turning right onto Burwell Road, some of the traffic coming through the light goes at an excessive speed so that as soon as they go through the past the light, they all of a sudden stop in order to make that right-hand turn into the gas station. And it's very, very tight indeed. So I'm wondering how that's going to be overcome with the possibility of the roundabout. I'm also concerned about the fire department and how they're going to be accessing it. I'm also concerned because there is no sidewalks on the south side of the road currently. And there are many people who use that as a pedestrian walk without going to the intersections to access the Tim Hortons that is just in there. And it's not the safest condition to be able to run across the road during that period of time. So I'm concerned about all of those things and more with that proposed roundabout. I was hoping to get some comments or if that is going to be taken and brought back to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Kevin, would you like, or who would like to comment on it? Okay, thank you.
Through the chair to Lori Baldwin Sands, I'm I guess happy to say that we've the roundabout option does address all of those concerns that were you've mentioned here, access, fire, and sidewalks. So I'm forgive me if I'll try to deal with them in order here. But so access, we've been in conversations with all the adjacent landowners about their access. A roundabout actually does improve the safety of those accesses that are immediately adjacent to the roundabout, because people can actually navigate the roundabout to make a right turn into the access rather than having to turn left. That's an advantage. Now, that being said, there are people who want to turn left. Let's say when they're approaching the roundabout, they'll have to actually navigate through the roundabout and then do a 360 and come back down to make a right-hand turn into the entrance. So it does involve a little bit extra time for people, but it's safer. In terms of the fire, we've been in discussion with the fire chief and making sure that the fire trucks can make it through the roundabout and navigate. It is a 2-lane roundabout that we're proposing, and As a 2-lane roundabout, the cars can pull over into the outside lane and the truck can make it through without any delays. A 1-lane roundabout does introduce more delays, but a 2-lane roundabout is more navigable by fire equipment and doesn't experience the same delays that a 1-lane roundabout would. It is a little bit slower because it's intended to slow traffic down. So there is a very minor impact on the response time. If a truck was traveling through, a fire truck was traveling through a traffic signal, there's a higher risk of collision. So it's safer for them, a little bit slower. So there's a trade-off there. In terms of the sidewalks, the good news is we are hoping to add a sidewalk on the south side as part of the South Edgeworth project all the way from Balaclava to Highbury. And that's the intention. That will make a lot of those businesses much more accessible and a safe way to travel. There will be PXO at each leg of the roundabout in order to safely cross the roundabout lane, because that's obviously a high traffic area. Also at Dalewood, where there currently is the crossing guard, there will be a PXO there as well to allow for people to cross from the south side where there isn't a sidewalk now, but there will be. So you'll have people crossing there.
Thank you. Councilor Taylor?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate that. A couple of questions that I've got as well, and we're trying to develop our pathways throughout the city. And right now, I believe we do have a bicycle path, on either side of South Edgeworth right now. Will that be maintained, is my question, or will there be a trail? I see there's a fairly dark path on the north side that seems to be more than just a sidewalk. And then my second question, of course, the public is going to be saying, talking about fiscal responsibility. Let's talk about that for a second. And the dollars being spent. Option 2, alternative 2 is a cost of 1.4 million, whereas alternative 3 is twice the amount of money, a $2.8 million cost to the city. And even though alternative number 2 talks about $28,000 per year in operating and maintenance costs, where only $11,000 per year for the roundabout, I'm just asking for a question on what is the operating and maintenance costs of why is it double for a stoplight system versus a roundabout? Does that make sense? Thank you.
Thank you. A couple of questions. Who would like to tackle that one?
Through the chair to Councillor Taylor, a roundabout does involve obviously a lot more construction of with the circular roadway. There is cost associated with building that. However, I think what isn't accounted for in the cost that were presented there is the social cost to like collisions. If we reduce severe collisions on that intersection, there's going to be a lot reduced in legal claims. It's not direct cost to the city, but it's cost generally to the residents of St. Thomas. So that's not accounted for directly, but it's safer. And so there is a benefit there. It does cost more, and there is a trade-off that happens when you design any intersection where you're looking at, do I want to install a roundabout where I know there's going to be fewer collisions, or do I do the more economical thing? And that's part of this process that we were looking at. The recommendation from the consultant is that a roundabout is the appropriate option, but it's up to council to decide that.
Thank you. Councillor Clark, and then Councillor Woodie. Sorry.
Oh, thanks. And besides the safety factor, for me, why I'm in favor of the roundabout is also the fact, and Councillor Baldwin-Sands brought it up, the traffic volume. It's just going to increase, and we're building for the future. And so we're paying at the front end, but I think once it's been built, the amount of traffic that's going to go through that intersection over the next few years and beyond is enormous. And so we're just building for success as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Councillor Wookie, sorry.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. As a representative of the Public Art Committee, and we've done some roundabout art, I don't know if that's contemplated or what would be in the roundabout for that, and maybe you're not that far yet, but any commentary on that? Because obviously we have to deal with something that's going to be in the roundabout. It's all about sight lines and all those kind of things, but anyway, any initial takes on those things? Thank you.
Councillor Kohler?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I like the way this is laid out, and as Councillor Clark says too, when you look at the technical, the social, the environmental, the economic, there's all kinds of things. It's not just the cost, but to kind of piggyback on Councillor Taylor's, I was kind of wondering why there is any ongoing maintenance annual costs for the roundabouts other than maybe future replacement of the asphalt. But I know with the 28K, you're looking at the hydro and that for the lights itself. But I know we have an annual maintenance for all the traffic lights around. I was kind of anticipating that to be a bit higher, but if we redo the intersection, you're putting all brand new ones in, obviously, but then the ongoing hydro for that. But why do we have the 11K at all for the roundabout?
Through the chair to Councillor Kohler. So there is a cost to maintaining any road. And both options include our regular maintenance for lane kilometers. So that is included in that cost, but there's also street lights, which we'd need in either option. And the PXOs have a small cost to maintain as well. So the traffic signals are definitely more. There's more infrastructure. They have a lower life cycle than some of the other components. You have electronic components that might have a life cycle of 5 years, whereas a street light might last 20 years, right? So there's some maintenance requirements there that are higher for a traffic signal than a roundabout, but still there are some costs.
But mainly it's the 11K would be regardless if we had a roundabout or an intersection, the cost would be there, okay.
Thank you. Councillor Taylor. Oh, Councillor Taylor first.
Thank you, Chair. For my first question that I'd originally asked, I just wanted to, we're doing a lot of construction along South Edgeware was in regards to the trail mechanism. And I see, as I had mentioned in one of the drawings, there is on the north side of the road, looks like a different, wider, is that a path that we're going to be installing along South Edgeware? Because I know getting from my place in the central core here to One Password Park is very tough. So I'm just wondering, while we're doing it, it maybe is beyond what this roundabout is all about. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against the roundabout. I was asking questions because people are going to ask about the dollars, 1.4, 2.8, which one are we going to go for? And we're going to go for the Gusto. But, and Councillor Baldwin-Sands did mention about the volume there. But if I can just get an answer on, is the path being anticipated and counted here? Thank you.
Sorry about that. Through the chair to Councillor Taylor, I did miss that. I apologize. The dark line that you do see there is a multi-use path. I mean, the design is not complete yet, but in general, we're leaning towards multi-use paths as accessible corridors rather than bike lanes in terms of the accessibility for all cyclists and all road users. It isn't exclusively the option. I mean, there are other choices as well, but that's what is being considered in this one.
You want a follow-up question? No, I thank you, Councillor Wood.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. We never gave our staff a chance to respond to my question regarding the roundabout art. So hopefully they can respond to that. Thank you.
Is that Kevin?
Through the chair to Councillor Wookie. This roundabout is actually a fairly large size roundabout. I think the diameter is what, 72 meters compared to a typical 60 meters. So that also helps with the fire route access piece. So it'll be a very large space in the center, such that with the public art at South Edgware and Highbury Ave, we hadn't contemplated the need for public art at this point, but that's something that if direction from council is that we do want to do that, we can always do that. We were thinking more of a naturalized type of better than elm and centennial naturalized concept. But we would work with our Parks and Forestry team on what that might look like because of the large area in the center. And just to Councillor Taylor, to echo what my colleague here was saying, is the section from Burwell to Highbury currently does not have any active transportation corridor. And so by introducing the multi-use trail, we're able to create that connectivity basically all the way intended to get into Yarmouth Yards and access that active transportation network.
Thank you. Councillor Laura Baldwin Sands.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments on the all-purpose trail. That is very wonderful to hear. Mine is to support public art in the roundabout, as Councillor Wookie was pointing out. It's been brought to my attention by several members of the community that there are people that come in from out of town to actually tour our roundabouts from one to the other in order to take a look at some of our public art projects and the roundabouts, and they make comments on them on social media. So just to bring that to your attention, that's why I fully support more public art in the roundabouts, because of the impact that it's having on casual tourism of people that are coming to our community to take a view of our public art.
Thank you very much. Councillor Wookie. I was going to ask you to comment on the art.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I say this tongue in cheek, but seriously, the Bank of Kevin every year when projects are tendered below the accounting cost, maybe it's a Bank of Adam, I'm not sure, maybe we can hyphenate it. But I'm kind of hoping that in the end, there could be some money left over from projects to support a commission. And as Councilor Baldwin Sands said, we get positive comments very much about our roundabout art. And but if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. And I'm not going to go crazy over this, but I think it'd be an excellent opportunity for something substantial and there's so many, when you do an RFP for art, there's just so many wonderful things that come back as possibilities that you wouldn't think about until you see what the artist provides. So that's just my sales pitch for that. Thank you very much, Councilor Baldwin Sands.
Thank you. Very lively discussion. Oh, Kevin, you wanted to speak on it?
Thank you,
Go
Chair.
ahead. No, Councillor Clark after.
Through to Councillor Wookie and to members of council, because this is such a large project, it's a multi-year construction project. This particular item is dealing with the intersection of Burwell Road and South Edgware. A design report will be coming to council. And at that time, if that is the direction that council wants us to take in terms of public art, we will receive that direction, because as part of the design work, we need to make sure the underground infrastructure for lighting, or if there's water or anything like that, is included as part of the design work. So that'll be coming later to council, and then we'll be able to take that direction and accommodate that accordingly.
Thank you. Councillor Clark.
Yeah, just to add my 2 cents on that. Also, the more you design ahead of time in terms of public art, it cuts down on the ongoing maintenance of Parks and Rec every year, planting. And I know we can get some wonderful designs, but then it takes one bad spring, and if you haven't got at things, the intersection can look like Elm First that Central Elgin is looking after, and we don't want that. So I'm just trying to guilt them into a little action there. And also it would maybe give us a little bit time through the design, because the fire department is so involved. You can see at some of the smaller roundabouts where large trucks have had to go toward the middle. And I'm just wondering if that'll be part of the design, where the fire trucks will be able to go into the center area. And, if it's all already built up with landscaping, then that might not be an option. Whereas the rubberized center area allows for some more diversity there.
Thank you. I would like to ask a question. I see the fire chief is on the call, Dave Gregory. I'm questioning the 100-foot ladder truck that they have now. What's it like going around a single roundabout? That would be my question if he wanted to answer it. I don't know how to get to him. John Hanley, do you get to him? Okay.
Thank you, Chair. As per your question, if you can hear me, I spoke with Dan and Kevin about this project, and the ladder truck, even though it's 100-foot, when it's bedded and rested, it's roughly around 45 feet in length. So wheelbase on that is still very maneuverable. And Councillor Clark spoke to the smaller roundabouts. Yes, that's a bit of a challenge and slows us down. After looking at this design and being a 2-lane design, it gives us more of an option, and the slowdown period isn't that great to us. So going northbound with a pump and the ladder truck doesn't hinder us in any way. And so when Dan and I spoke, we would keep in the loop as we move forward when this is in development, so we don't get stuck where we should have, could have, would have had changes prior to this. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Well, that's a lively discussion, I would have to say. Is there another comment?
Yeah, Councillor Clark, could you just repeat your question? I got distracted there.
I have been now too. It was just involving the design and whether or not the design would allow for encroachment by the fire trucks, and the fact that your ongoing maintenance costs are cut down if you go with a rubberized area with artwork.
Thank you. Through the chair to Councillor Clark. Yes, so this will have a concrete apron for truck tracking, and that's a normal function of the roundabout, that the larger trucks will track on the concrete apron. And the fact that you're seeing tire tracks on there shows that the roundabout's working properly, because larger vehicles will, especially the long trucks, their trailer will actually go up on that concrete island. Now, in this particular instance, there's going to be a large area that's available for landscaping, whether that's just grass or art or whatever, that wouldn't be tracked over by any trucks. But on the smaller roundabouts, definitely.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? We have a motion on the floor. All in favor?
Can we have a recorded vote?
Pardon?
Recorded vote, please.
Thank you. Recorded vote.
Thanks, Your Worship. Yep. Councillor Balvin Sands,
Yes?
Councillor Wookie,
Yes.
Councillor Taylor,
Yes.
Councillor Gibson,
Yes.
Councillor Clark,
Yes.
Councillor Kohler,
Yes.
Your Worship.
Yes, thank you.
Your Worship, that vote carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, Your Worship, under this committee relates to the 2026 Road Rehabilitation Tender 2026-013 Award. I have a motion that report ES 3126 relating to the 2026 Road Rehabilitation Tender 2026-013 Award be received for information, and further that Council cancel Road Rehabilitation Tender 2026-013, and further that Council cancel the 2026 Annual Road Rehabilitation Capital Project, and further that Council defer the airport turn pad widening works to the 2027 construction season, and further that Council direct administration to issue a tender for the airport maintenance garage parking lot for construction in 2026. Moved by Councillor Wookie, seconded by Councillor Gibson.
Questions or comments? Councilor Wookie.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I'd like to give staff just a chance to explain this, because there might be people that have seen this and are looking forward to something being done that might not be done. And when we cancel things, it's just good for the public and good for transparency for us to explain to the public why that stuff's happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any comment?
Through the mayor to Councillor Wookie. So we sent out a tender for road rehabilitation. The scope of work through the detailed design expanded from what was contemplated back in the fall when we were setting the budget, and the results came back nearly twice or over about twice the capital budget that was allocated to it. So for those reasons, we don't feel that that's good value. We should probably look at the scope of the work and also retender it with a revised budget if that's what we want to do. We're recommending canceling the project so as to free up those funds for other future uses. I have no idea what the 2027 capital program looks like, and so we could revisit it at that point in time and go from there.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions?
Just that we have some money freed up, and I'm just wondering where those dollars will be parked. Will they stay in your budget, or will the city treasurer park them in reserves? Or do we go down the list where in the budget there was a number of things that couldn't be done this year because of limited funds, whether or not we would entertain doing any of those and then rebudget this project in our new 27 budget? Thank you.
Comment from Adam, I'm assuming, when we're talking money?
Thank you through the chair. The funding for this project was from the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, which is a provincial grant program. It's pretty narrowly restricted to core infrastructure, so roads, water, sewer, stormwater. It wouldn't be applicable to a variety of the different capital projects that are currently in our budget. Perhaps if there's another project that fits that criteria, we can initiate it. But again, you're going to have bad tender prices around this time of year. So I think council's recommendation is a sound one to just cancel and reevaluate for 2027.
Any further comments or questions? Councilor Wookie?
Thanks, Your Worship. So to the treasurer, just that we can bank that infrastructure fund money, and if we can, for how long? Like, is it a 2 years? Is it 18? Like, what's the horizon on that? Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. It will go back to a reserve fund for future use. We don't lose it by any means. It operates on, I believe, a 5-year rolling window where we are not in danger of losing the money.
Any further questions? We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Next item, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. That's it for this committee unless there are any items from the members. Seeing none, we'll move on to corporate governance and administration. Nothing on the agenda this evening unless there are any items from the members. Seeing none, we'll just go unfinished business of council. The members are in receipt of the briefing memorandum from the city manager relating to unfinished business. Seeing no comments from council, council will now reconvene into regular session. I have a motion that the recommendations, directions, and actions of council and committee of the whole as recorded in the minutes of this date be confirmed, ratified, and adopted. Moved by Councillor Wookie. Seconded by Councillor Taylor.
Questions or comments? See none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item, please.
Your Worship, no reports of committees we have one report of committee this evening. This relates to the Downtown Development Board promotional rail coach. A proposal has been received from Graydon Lang, Chair, Downtown Development Board, regarding an unbudgeted window restoration in a promotional rail coach project. Should council wish, I have a motion that the proposal for a window restoration funding arrangement received from the Downtown Development Board be referred to the Treasury Department for a report. Moved by Councillor Wookie, seconded by Councillor Clark.
Questions or comments? Councillor Taylor. Sorry, I had my thing off, Councillor Taylor.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Just a couple comments about what's happening here, and I'm glad the DDB Chair is here tonight. All of my comments are going to be in the positive, but I do want to chat a little bit about what has happened here in regards to the $15,730 that is being spent by the Downtown Development Board. The Downtown Development Board would not have to be coming up with these funds, which is, of course, placed onto the shoulders of our downtown businesses. But if it hadn't been for the closure of the Elgin County Railway Museum. So, and it's not that, I'm not saying there's anything wrong there. The Elgin County Railway Museum closed for specific reasons of structural, et cetera. But the Downtown Development Board purchased the 120-seat Quebec coach about 12 years ago when I was chair, and we wrapped this wrapped this train car. And you know it's being used in many of our downtown events like Nostalgia Nights and Oktoberfest, and thousands of people come to St. Thomas to ride it. Did you see how I went thousands and thousands and thousands? Because there is no way to track that. But anyway, it was actually part of a background of one of our premiers of Ontario that came to St. Thomas making a proposal. So it got a national identification of what our train car is all about. But what I'm hoping for is that maybe one more point of history. When the Downtown Development Board's DDB coach comes out of the Elgin County Railway Museum, it will not be permitted to go back into the Railway Museum because of safety reasons. So the only reason we're spending money on this DDB coach, $15,000, which thankfully is actually being funded by the Elgin County Railway Museum and paid back by the DDB over a year, 2 years, over 2.5 years. We do thank ECRM for that idea because we don't have that in our budget today. The Downtown Development Board doesn't. But I wouldn't mind if somewhere along the line, the city, in part of our strategic plan, certainly not going to happen this year, but it may be in the future, live up to the idea that we are the railway capital of Canada. And maybe we need to do a little bit more in preserving the heritage of the railway history that we have in our city. I wouldn't mind if there was, when the DDB coach is put out onto the track somewhere, stored, it might even have to go to Port Stanley. I'm not sure yet. That's for safety reasons. But I wouldn't mind if somewhere in our strategic plan down the road that the DDB idea here of creating, maybe it's my idea of creating some sort of a heritage park where things like this could actually sit outside until the Elgin County Railway Museum gets things organized and be able to store these things properly. But anyway, I just wanted to make a comment about that. I think we need to do more as a city in promoting our heritage for the railway capital of Canada. So anyway, I'm not going to say any more than that. I do support what's happening here tonight. We need to put these windows in the DDB coach. And I do want to say thanks to the DDB and to the Elgin County Railway Museum for the work, the cooperation they're putting together to make this happen. But somewhere along the line, I do want the city to start, not saying we don't, we have lots of heritage, lots of things happening in our downtown with the railway look, but maybe just advance the idea of a heritage park somewhere where people can come to St. Thomas and see it rather than waiting for a facility to open. Anyway, thanks for I just want to make those comments. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Any further questions or comments? Good. We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, it's carried. Just a sec here. So I'm going to look for some advice from Lisa. Should we stop now and take a 5-minute break before the public meeting and then come back and finish the agenda after, or what's the suggestion?
Thank you, Your Worship. Our clerk feels we have about 5 minutes left, so we think we can maybe get it all wrapped up before the public meeting.
Okay, let's
And
roll.
Put it on John.
Thank you.
Thanks, Your Worship. Next item is communications. We have a couple items. First item, Downtown Oktoberfest, September 19th, 2026. The letter has been received from the CEO, St. Thomas Economic Development Corporation, requesting the Downtown Oktoberfest to be held September 19th, 2026 at 672 Talbot Street and the adjoining portions be declared a municipally significant event. I have a motion that Council of the City of St. Thomas declare the St. Thomas Oktoberfest event proposed for September 19th, 2026 at 672 Talbot Street and the adjoining portions of Ross Street and Talbot Street a municipally significant event. Moved by Councillor Kohler, seconded by Councillor Baldwin-Sands.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. Next item, please.
Next item for information from the Independent Electricity System Operator, South and Central Bulk Plan. Notice has been received by the Independent Electricity System Operator of Planning for a new South and Central Bulk Plan. Further information on the planning process can be found on their website. Your Worship, no further items under communications unless we'll move on to unfinished business of council.
Lawyer Baldwin-Sands, thank you.
Thank you. Item of communication in regards to an update with what happened last week with the Discovery Week camp that we offered to first-year medical students. The first night was held at Dalewood with, again, our continuing partner with Kettle Creek Conservation Authority. Some of the students had never been in a canoe. Some had never tasted a s'more. Some of them had never been fishing. So it was kind of interesting to watch one catch his first fish. Second night was held at Wildflowers. It was a wonderful night and a wonderful event, and we had it with one of our community partners, which is STIBA, the St. Thomas and Elgin Home Builders Association, who sponsored the night and introduced our students to the discount to build program that they have introduced to the Health Recruitment Partnership. And then the third night was sponsored by, again, one of our partners, and they brought in more sponsorships as well. The Elgin Federation of Agriculture held an event at Howe Family Market, and they brought in sponsors Yarmouth Mutual and the Elgin Beef Producers, which made sure that there was enough food for all, including lots of strawberries from the vines. So it was a wonderful week that we were able to spend with our first year Discovery Week students. And I'm sure they'll be talking about it for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job again.
Yeah, any further new business items from council? Seeing none, there's no public notice this evening, no notices of motion. Next item really is bylaws. I have a motion that leave be granted to bring in the bylaws. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Taylor.
Yep, back to John. Questions or comments? Seeing none, okay. Oh, can we vote on? Thank you. I forgot we vote both times. Thank you.
Thanks, Your Worship.
Pass, it's carried. Thank you.
I have a motion that the bylaws be now read a first time, referred to council and committee of the whole, and read a second time.
Questions or comments? Seeing none. Carried. All voting? Carried. I'm lost at the bottom of my page. Thank you. It's okay.
First bylaw, please.
Yep.
First bylaw this evening is a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the meeting held on the 8th day of June, 2026.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's carried. Next bylaw, please.
Second and final bylaw this evening is a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute and affix the seal of the corporation to a certain agreement between the City of St. Thomas, Railway City Cycling Club, and the Water Tower Mountain Bike Club, having the Ontario Corporation number 10014555241. This relates to an amending agreement for the Water Tower Mountain Bike Network.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's carried. Mr. Chair, I rise and report the successful passing of the two bylaws.
Thank you. John?
I have a motion moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Taylor, that the report of council and the committee of the whole on the following bylaws be received and adopted. The same be read a third time, engrossed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried.
Thanks, Your Worship. Final item on the agenda is for adjournment. I have a motion that we do now adjourn at 5:58 p.m.
Close.
Moved by Councillor Baldwin Sands, seconded by Councillor Gibson.
All in favor? Carried.